All right, so let's do it. So I know I'm a little bit behind on this webtoon. Well, I caught up to this one too, but this week there wasn't any episodes of Unordinary because the author is having family business. I hope everything is all right. But she said there'll definitely be an episode next week. So what I'm going to review is the episode of last week, if I'm not mistaken. And I wasn't going to do a video about it because, again, I was already a week late. But I kind of do because I just want to talk about some theories that I have about Unordinary. Because there's just one small part in there that has me thinking a lot. Once again, the author has combined certain different elements and has made an amazing story that tells a lot, all while keeping us in the dark as well. So let's begin with the review. So the episode of Unordinary follows Remy, Eason, and Blake. They're all in this town called Brandon. Brandon is terrorized by these mid tiers, which in the town of Brandish, they're higher than the people with powers that are there. So they have been terrorized by these higher tiers, so to call them, including this one tier whose name I forgot, so I'm not going to talk about him right now. And basically Remy has the idea of becoming a superhero to attract Amber to her because they seem to be attacking and killing superheroes for whatever reason. That purpose has not been identified yet. So it is a little weird to me that this town was very, very quiet and it was like a ghost town, but we find out more about that later in the chapter. So she's looking around and she can't find anything, but she sees this superhero, this villain actually, more to speak, and he's terrorizing this lady to, I guess, give her some money, and she quickly stops him. And then going forward, there are more supervillains that are coming, and Remy is expected to stop them as well. I'm pretty sure she will because she's pretty much high tier. She's not god tier because Arlo and Serafina are god tier, but Remy is high tier. I think her level Blake's was, I believe, 6.3 or 5.3. It's one of those two, and hers is, because if it's 6.3, then I'm pretty sure Remy's is 5.4, which makes sense in a way. But anyway, let's continue. So she's pretty high up there, so she's probably going to be fine unless it's Amber, which I'm pretty sure is coming in the next 2 chapters, but don't quote me on that. That's just a theory. What I kind of want to talk about in this chapter is later on when she meets this nice lady and they begin talking about their town and what happened to it, which was quite interesting, honestly. So basically, she tells the story about Brandish and how the authorities basically left it for them to govern themselves, which became not chaos, but it became oppressing because those with higher abilities were in power, and those with lower abilities were forced to take orders from higher people with higher abilities. Which again, you see this so much in life. Just the people with power make the decisions, and I just love how this webtoon is incorporating this real life problem into a medium that we can all share and enjoy. Like, the one thing I do give Unordinary credit for is just its underlying themes of hierarchy, power, and authority. And this one guy said it, this dystopian hierarchy. I love it all. That's why it's so popular, because it's not really, well, I mean, it's the art and everything, but it's because of these themes. Whether we want to admit them or not, these themes are what entice us. These themes are what keep us going. These themes are extremely, extremely powerful. And so I just love how this is happening more and more in the second season of Unordinary. We're seeing it a lot with John and Serafina, and how Serafina lost her abilities, and how is she interpreting that, and how are people in the school treating her. And now we're seeing it in this town, Brandon. So all this is coming together, and Amber has a specific purpose, but we don't know what as of yet. But let me continue. So she's talking with this lady who she saved, and she's kidnapped the villain that was terrorizing this lady. So she tells a story about Brandish, about the government left it for them to run and how it's become terrible, etc., etc. But this is the small part which probably caught a lot of people. So she says that this guy, and I forget his name, terrorized, well, he was a worker, and then the lady at the job, the boss, embarrassed him at work, and so he lost his job, and then he came back and terrorized the people at work and embarrassed the boss. Here's the part. She says it's like his power just rapidly grew overnight. Well, it's not verbatim, but she said it's like his power just monstrously grew, and he became an overwhelming force. Didn't we hear this not too long ago about John's abilities? And I believe chapter in the 80s somewhere, where Eisen was talking to the reporter, and he said at once John showed as if he had no powers. He was a regular cripple. But it's like his power shot out of nowhere and he became abnormally strong. I don't think that those are two separate scenarios. I believe those two are linked, because it always came with my original theory. Is John a part of Amber in some way? Because again, we don't really know anything about John's past. All we really know, and we don't know about the gap year that he left, but in that gap year is when he became abnormally strong. So I wonder, did he deal with Amber, or did they deal with him indirectly in some way? Is Amber giving these people heightened abilities? But why? Is more of the question. If their purpose is to shut down the dystopian hierarchy of power, why would you give people more power? And why take Seraphine's power from her? So it's really weird, but it's so interesting because we see two separate scenarios that I'm pretty sure are linked to Amber. In fact, as in this guy has gotten an insane amount of power, but John also did, and no one knows how, and no one can explain it other than Amber is making chemicals that are enhancing the abilities of certain people, and I think they're able to take it away too. But again, that's not really confirmed. We don't know what happened to Seraphina's ability as of yet. But again, I think John is a part of Amber, but I don't think he's part of it directly. I think he's a part of it indirectly. A weird segue about that, kind of how Tabin from Dice was indirectly involved with Mu Young when he really wasn't. I think that's kind of the way that John is with Amber. He's a part of Amber in some way, but we just don't know yet. And this chapter, to me, definitely confirmed a theory about John and his ability and his origin and how did he get him. But again, with more chapters that are coming along, I know we're just going to get more and more answers while getting more and more questions, because that's how Ordinary works. But this chapter was absolutely amazing, and it's definitely a must read and all of that good stuff. And yeah, that was pretty much the chapter. So at the end, we get Remy, and she wants to basically liberate this town from its oppressors, which I think this is where Amber is going to come in, but don't quote me on that. But Amber, I feel, is coming sooner, because we haven't seen them for about 40 chapters about now, so they're definitely going to make their return pretty soon. So yeah, if you read Unordinary, if you have any theories and you find this video, what do you think about the theory that I have about John? Any opinions, make sure you leave your comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, because that helps the brother out. With that being said, I thank you for watching, listening, and you have a good night. Hopefully see you in the next video.